Welcome back, family. Man, been a powerful day. Feel all that energy, man. And so today we're gonna be covering over psychic vampires, right? Okay, we live. Just had to make sure. So yeah, as everybody come in, sit back as we get ready to start the show, family. Send some of them good vibes to you. Got Ohio in the building. Shout out to Ohio. Shout out to Ohio. Shout out to everybody, man. All right. So yeah, family. Let's get this thing started so we can go and get it out the way. All right. So y'all already know disclaimer, right? This show is for educational purposes only. How you use this information is your responsibility. I'm only here to make you think. If you scared of knowledge, please, I say, please go back to church. Ashe, Ashe. So peace, family, peace. What's going on with y'all? Y'all doing alright today? On this Friday the 13th, right? Um, just to touch up on Friday the 13th, right? In this Western world, right? We was taught Friday the 13th was about, bad things happen and all of this type of stuff, right? And we really truly have to upgrade our belief system, right? Because fear is the real virus, family. Fear, okay? And so we're gonna be touching over the psychic vampire Codex, right? Another great book Uncle Bobby recommended to read. And so we gonna touch off on it. I'm gonna give my introduction and experience I had years ago, right? Before, I joined the church and, like I said, I was experiencing so many things that the Baptist church couldn't tell me at the time. And so that's what led me into, you know, joining the Mormon church and all this stuff at that time I was going through and witnessing these things. Like, wow. So, you know, gonna play Lucifer right today. So just sit back and we gonna go over the book here soon. But as you see and look around the world, right, with so many people believing in a scamdemic, right, making it real, right. That's why we say we the truth over here, not we real, because what's real to me can be fake to you, right? And a lot of people have actually made this thing a reality, right? They done made this thing a reality. And it's only up to us, right? Don't drink the Kool-Aid, family, right? It's not real. It's only real if you believe it. As the great, Dr. Deborah Black say, nothing is true until you believe it, family. And you want to study them, you can't watch the news and study them. I'm sorry to tell you that. You watching the news trying to study these people, you'll never understand who they truly are. You gotta read these people books, right? And this book I'm gonna be reading today was printed in back in 1999, right? but I'm only reading the first chapter, so you can go read the book yourself. Cause it gets deep. It's like over 1,000-page book. Breaks down how they siphon your energy, right? Siphon your energy through the church, through social media, through the commercials, right? So you're going to eventually have to stop watching the news. Stop worrying about these people, right? Stop focusing, putting your energy into these people, because that's what you're doing, right? Like, I spoke my piece on the young Pharaoh thing, and I ain't want to talk about it no more. But I see a lot of people that's still talking about it, right? We sending blessings and abundance to the sister Golden Broody, right? But when are y'all gonna stop talking about it? When are y'all gonna let it go? And when we read these first chapter, you're gonna see why I'm saying these things, right? You're gonna see why I'm speaking on it as let it go, because what you focus on grows, right? If you keep watching the news and you keep listening to the fake propaganda, right, you're gonna eventually fall for it, right? You got so many people, they still, asking the question, should we take it? Just by you asking, you already setting your attention and putting your energy into it and making it more real, right? So the experience that I had, man, when I read this book, right, and I'm still reading it, because like I said, there's so many different chapters on how somebody can steal your energy and feed off your energy, right? Like I said the other day, it's some people out there that'll feed off your ignorance and your desperation. Desperation to be liked, desperation to be loved, right? Desperation to fit in with the crowd. I never fit into this world, right? And you haven't either, right? That's why we eventually woke up before all the other people, right? The people that still reading the Bible, right? But they haven't seen through it, right? Because if they would have been woke up, right? Because real eyes realize the real lies, family. The real lies. And so when you're watching the news, they putting a spell on you. Spells. The words you listen to are spells. The words you use are spells. So when I know a lot of people was saying, about the betrayal revocation. Read that thing, right? I know they said it's powerful. Read that thing. Like, I'm not none of these dudes that's coming on here just freestyling, as Uncle Ken Billion said. I'm not on that. I'm really tapped into the spirit, right? So, though my day one soul family, they know when I first started this thing, and they were seeing me reading this stuff from my notes and thought I was just faking notes. Most of the stuff I post, I be channeling. So when I share with y'all, it's for you, right? For you. This spirituality is a personal journey, right? Like the brother I had the band that got mad when I shared the deal about reincarnation. Tell my shut up if you don't believe in reincarnation. Why? Banned them. Cause you foolish, right? And this the type of people you want to keep away from you. They always in denial. They always want to argue. They don't really want knowledge. The only people that reincarnate down here are the people, these humanoids who haven't figured out why they actually down here, right? Only the true supreme beings, the true conscious beings incarnate on earth so we can help those who really want to wake up. Okay? This is my 4th time on planet Earth. The first time, I was in Atlantis. 2nd time, in Egypt. 3rd time, in China. Now I'm here with y'all today, right? But it ain't about me, right? There's a lot of conscious people right? They exposing themselves, right? Had to unsubscribe from one of my brothers this week, right? You supposed to be this spiritual teacher and this spiritual leader you call yourself. You done made all that money off of YouTube, you know, and you supposed to be spiritual, but you go get a whole mouthful of goals. That ain't spirituality. Sorry, that's mundane, earthly things. Now, like I said, I'm not one of these conscious people that, judge anybody, right? But I see, my third eye see through the bullshit of people, right? And I'm getting back on my alchemy. It's been about a year, but we stocked back up, waiting on my platinum water to come in, and my goal and my dream drops. And we gotta get serious. You gotta step up to your power, family, right? Just like how all, no judgment. Like how out of all of this mess, y'all still wanna go send y'all kids to school? Y'all still wanna do that? Now I understand if you a single parent, right? It's gonna be harder. But if you got both of the parents in the household, there should be no excuse. You shouldn't be wanting to send your kids back to the school system, the public school system, what we call it, right? Nothing wrong with education, right? But let's be real. All the people that was reading all those books in elementary, getting their AR points, where they at now? See, the key is to keep educating yourself. That's the key. Never get comfortable with this knowledge, right? Can't tell you how many books I done read this year, right? Every time I turn around, I'm listening to Uncle Bobby, there's so many books out there, right? And as we say, as long as you can read, can't damn motherfucker on this planet or in this matrix can control you or manipulate you. And that's what's going on in the conscious community. That's why I never claimed the conscious community, because they full of fakes, right? Now, I respect all the elders who started the conscious movement, but it's not what it used to be back then, right? It's only a handful of people that's actually on the frequency and channeling these messages, right? So earlier, Uncle Nazir Ra, he did a video on the anti-vampires, right? So check that out so you can get an understanding, right, of why when you get certain people in your life and it's like the money start drying up, all kinds of fuck shit, right? When I was with this one chick at the time, all we used to do was fuck every day on the pills, snorting powder. And it was like every time that I would, we were about to have sex, right? She'll be like, you don't hear that knocking at the door? And she would say it damn near every night, right? But I was so in a trance off of her that I wasn't hearing the fucking knocks, right? The knocks at the door, right? They say Jesus come knocking at the door, right? Let's get it. And so this one night, I finally heard the knocks. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And I knew it wasn't nobody at the front door. I ran straight to the back door, opened the door, nobody there, family. Nobody there. That was my ex, he probably stalking me. I said, no, ain't nobody on the fucking planet running that fast. Cause like I said, when I heard the first few knocks, I was ready to knock somebody out. Cause I was like, hold up, bro. Whoever this is, they about to get it on my life, on my soul. By the time I got to the door, nobody there, the wind blowing, family. I walked around my whole trailer, nobody there, right? That same night she left, you feel me? But like I said, the whole time while she was there, we was doing this thing, trying to make this relationship happen. Like I said, I was working working temp work, right? So you had to go in, and if the white man like you that day, he'll let your ass work. And it was like damn near every day I went, I literally had to beg this man to put me on the schedule, right? To the point, like I said, all that shit, she was ciphering off my sexual energy, right? You had them nights where you don't be want to do nothing, and the woman will put a little booty on you, and shit, you don't get to work, they get mad, right? And so my cousin was going through this similar experience as well. That's what led, me moving him over there with me, and we started, what I'm saying, getting on the path of spirituality through the church, right? And so, yeah, man, it was a crazy experience. Like I said, then the same night that shit happened, she was spooked, left. I ain't know. I was trying to figure this thing out, family, like what was going on, right? But see, it was my double, right? Or what they call the devil, right? That was trying to let me know, right? What was going on. For real. And so, when it comes to this young Pharaoh thing, right? I seen one of the goddesses. She been talking about this shit so much, you can literally see the life zapping out of her. He zapping her, all her energy out, cause she focusing all her energy on this young Pharaoh thing. But I'm here to tell you today, family, your boy ain't your boy no more, right? You get certain kind of walk-ins that walk in and feed your soul, because you gotta get all your soul shards back. But then you got the other walk-in, the negative walk-ins that walk in and your soul get exchanged, so you basically a whole nother person, right? And so that's what's going on, right? With the world, this earth is going through its own dark night of the soul, family. And it's only gonna be those who are willing to face they demons, or they Damien, or they double, right? Because they got people so scared of the devil or your double. When you supposed to get that energy, put it back in its right proper place, and then the devil and your demons become your bodyguard. Huh? It sounds crazy, don't it? But that's the whole deal. Because you can't kill the devil. Let's just be real. What they call the devil, you can't kill it. Right? Let's just be real. So why not face your inner demons, face your inner devil, or your inner double, so we can be back in peace with you, instead of causing all this havoc in your life, right? You gotta embrace your shadow self, right? You got to. Because if you don't, you gonna go crazy. All of these, like I said, people that I'm seeing, that I thought was spiritual. Yeah, they conscious, but they not spiritual, right? Boy, still talking about the Illuminati. We the illuminated ones. Ain't no Illuminati. It's psychic vampires, and it's a whole community of them. And you also got people that don't know they consciously doing this, right? They unconsciously doing this. So when you log online and you see the women butt naked and shit on their stories, or the dude showing all they, material stuff, that's what's going on. So you're gonna have to unfollow some people, unfriend some people, unsubscribe, right? My brother was saying he said he was the Christ energy of the world. I said, no, bro. You done took this shit to extreme. No, we all play a part of the Christ. We all are the Christ energy. That's what it's about. It's, what I'm saying, like Uncle Panic said the other day on his video. when you get into this spirituality, this shit is not this is not the rap industry, right? This is not my knowledge. This is all our knowledge, right? So let's go and get off into it, family. I don't want to hold nobody up long today. As I said, we're going to be reading from the chapter 1 of the Psychic Vampire, the Psychic Vampire Codex, right? Another great book Uncle Bobby recommended. And like I said, I seen a video, and when he was dropping the jewels on it, I was like, bro, I got to go get it. And so you can get it Amazon, $20 if you want the hardback. Y'all know I deal with the PDFs because I can't be walking around at work and stuff trying to read all of these things, and they, you know, they already think I'm the devil, right? Right? They already think I'm Lucifer, so fuck it. It is what it is. So, chapter 1, Metaphysics and Vampirism, family. Vampires have titillated our imagination since Lord Byron imported the concept to the English literature, right? Almost 200 years ago, family. And like I said, this book was printed in 1990, right? Prior to that, vampires were creatures of myth and folklore, right? Ravenous night demons who gave form to that fear that the living hold for the dead. Folkloric vampires were vile and unloving creatures, right? But through Brian's writing and the writings of his commentaries, a more romanticized idea emerged. Through these writings, the vampire became more human than a monster. Let me read that again. The vampire became more human than monster, more archetype than myth. The notation of the living dead has lost its horror in our scientific age. However, the figure of the vampire and the concepts it represents have become formally entrenched in the popular imagination. Vampires went from literature to the stage, from the stage to cinema, and from cinema to the modern mediums of expression such as the internet and computer games, right? They have served as the inspiration for music as well as mascots for breakfast cereals, right? I want to suck your blood. And even as well-known characters on children's television shows. A little over 2 centuries ago, the word vampire was barely known in the English language. Now CEOs who line their pockets with the money of these beneath them can be linked to vampires in the press. A woman who preys sexually on a man is often known as a vamp, right? And in the 90s, there was even a lipstick color with a name that intended to evoke the same devilish allure. As the archetype has integrated itself into popular culture, vampire has came to mean anyone who preys on others to set their own needs, right? And y'all know I shared the video with Uncle Ken about the PJ Washington thing and his so-called baby mama, right? So if y'all haven't checked that out, go check that one out later too, right? Because it's real, family. These type of people, they feed off of you only for their needs. You might truly love them, right? You might truly really fuck with them, right? Like, have you ever woke up and a person stop answering your calls, stop answering your texts? Now we know we in a age Well, motherfuckers got their phone glued to their hand, right? Ain't nobody really that busy. Let's just keep it real, right? Ain't nobody really that busy. So when you experiencing these type of things, these type of people are actually feeding off your energy, your thoughts, because you thinking about them every day. They don't think one time about you, but you sending that thought out, you giving them people your energy, right? This shit goes way deeper than just you shaking somebody's hand and they stealing your energy. As I said earlier, they can do this shit through the TV, they do it through the music, you know what I'm saying? They do it through all kinds of things, the church, everything, right? So let's continue. Psychic vampires. While the vampires of fiction and folklore are admittedly not real, right? That's not the real what you see, right, on the screen in the horror movies. But that's what they show you to keep you afraid from, you know what I'm saying, understanding, right, the mythology of these things. Many occult and metaphysical works have been devoted to a different type of vampire. The psychic vampire is a person who preys upon the life energy of others, family. Psychic vampires are not believed to be undead, right? But are mortal people whose need for energy, metaphorically, concept connects them. Excuse me, let's read that again. But are mortal people who need for energy, metaphorically, connects them to the life-stealing predators of myth, right? Dion Fortune, analytically psychologist and member of the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, was one of the first to write openly on the topic of psychic vampires in her seminal work, Psychic Self-Defense, right? So that's another book you can go get by Dion Fortune, right? When you want to, after you read this book and go, get the Psychic Self-Defense so you can know why when you go around certain people, you get tired and you fucking drain, or, they negativity, right? You can see through the bullshit, okay? She discusses some attacks from an astral entity, right, that preyed upon the vital energy of its victims, right, the demiurge, right, the archon. She likened this astral vampire to the vampires of myth, suggesting that it was the remnant of a powerful magical worker who had refused to succumb to the second death, right? Or the death of the subtle body. And that's what a lot of people finna be going through, right? The second death. Because you so scared to fucking die. You gonna die regardless. So you might as well die to who you think you are, so you can illuminate, right? Resurrect before you die. The true Christ resurrected, then died. He didn't die, then resurrect. That's reincarnation, right? So later in the same work, Fortune discusses international psychic vampires, individuals who prey upon the emotional and vital energy of their partners, eventually weaken the partner to a point where sickness or even death could result, right? Now let's read that one more time. Fortune discussed unintentional psychic vampires, individuals who prey upon the emotional and vital energy of their partners, eventually weaken the partner to a point where sickness or even death could result, right? And that's how, you can get with certain people. Got glitch in here. What's happening, my brother? You can get with certain people, right? After you get that orgasm and you just feel totally drained. Like I said, with certain people, you get that orgasm, you feel like you lost something. That's not normal, family. Right? When you get with a real goddess, brothers, and you know what I'm saying, you'll be ready for more, right? So that's when you can tell if somebody actually feeding off, right, your sexual energy, okay? Instead of exchanging it and, you know what I'm saying, giving that energy back. All right, let's continue. That was almost a century ago. In keeping with Fortune's writing, most metaphysics approach psychic vampires as something to be defended against, right? Most books on the topic suggest that the majority of psychic vampires are unaware of their condition, right? Like I said, there's so many people that's doing this, right? And it ain't just the white folks. Let's just be real, right? Because as Uncle Bobby said, the first vampire they were saying was the black man. So let's keep it straight, right? Unintentionally, right? It is generally assumed that if a psychic vampire was to become aware of what they were doing, they would choose not to do it, right? It is further assumed that the need for energy arises from certain from excuse me fam for from some physical or metaphysical weakness, right? All right. Which one properly addressed would bring the vampirism to an end. A few rare books such as Combs, and man, I don't want to butcher that name, but Constantinos Vampires, The Occult Truth. Okay, that's a book. Mention international psychic vampires. These are individuals who are aware of what they are and who take energy constantly, right? In general, it is assumed that this is a learned technique and not a behavior arising from a legitimate need, right? It's a learned technique. So we all have this in us, right? It just how you vibrating, because ain't no such thing as no good woman or no good man. Let's just be real, right? They either vibrating on the angelic side, right? Or they vibrating on their demonic side. There ain't no such thing as no good man or good woman. Bottom line, right? So let's continue. While Constantinos' book does feature some letters written by psychic vampires themselves, no book on the market addressed the issue of psychic vampirism completely from the vampire's perspective, right? Yet it is impossible for an outsider to accurately portray such a way of being. A thriving community of self-aware psychic vampires exists hidden beneath all mainstream culture, family. Right? Like I said, ain't no Illuminati. You think they want your body. No, they want your energy. That's why they want you to get the Novocaine. They want to be connected to your energy 24/7. Right? Many of these people refer to themselves as vampires with the Y instead of the I, family, using the altered spelling to differentiate themselves from the vampires of folklore and myth. This vampire subculture is rich and diverse, and its members have the most reliable, information about their experiences. Unfortunately, the voices are rarely heard, right? Rarely heard. So, let's continue. Confusion and secrecy. There are a number of reasons why psychic vampires are not forthcoming about their experiences. First among these is the fact that not all vampires adequately understand what they are, because the capacity of the psychic vampirism is inborn, right? Most psychic vampires function intuitively, while they may be conscious that they are taking energy, right? They do not always fully comprehend how or why. Many psychic vampires do not have a word for themselves until they encounter descriptions in books such as those on the psychic self-defense book. Many psychic vampires are also hesitant to speak openly about themselves for fear of being judged, right? Throughout almost all the available literature, psychic vampires is depicted at best as an affliction, at its worst as a conscious choice to victimize others, right? As a result, many pagans, Wiccans, and other metaphysical practitioners see psychic vampires as a scourge to be protected against, and their opinions on the matter are strongly emotional, family. It is easy for most to live in silence than to fight such firmly established procedure. Further, some vampires have bought into the negative portrayal so typically of the self-defense literature. Many of them feel ashamed of what they are and what this requires them to do, right? Still others embrace the negativity so completely that they make a self-conscious attempt to be dark, or what we call evil, right? We're only talking about polarity, right? Energy. These people dive headfirst into the archetype of the vamp, the cape, the veins, and all in a confused attempt to reconcile themselves with their nature. Neither approach makes such individuals willing to discuss what they are with outsiders. Finally, there is the fact that many psychic vampires have conflicting interpretations of what they are and what this means, although there have been attempts to come to consensus within the community. There are too many voices competing for attention, right? The resulting cacophony of definitions, theories, and beliefs ensures that very little ever gets officially communicated to anyone outside of these debates, right? Then next we gonna finish this chapter. We gonna take a little break, give me a little water in me, family, and we'll be right back. All right. All right. Yeah, so we left off at through vampire's eyes. Psychic vampirism on the surface seems pretty cut and dry. Psychic vampires are people who take energy. Some of them do this consciously. Some of them do it unawareness. However, it is only from an outside perspective that this simplicity can be maintained among the psychic vampires themselves. There are many different reasons for vampirism and many different interpretations on how it is expressed. First of all, psychic vampires have many different explanations for why they need to feed. Okay? Some believe that they feed as a result of a physical or a spiritual alignment, right? That has reduced their own vitality, right? Y'all already know about the other shots. We don't even want to say it on here, but y'all already know. In such cases, the need for outside energy arises either because the vampire's own system does not produce enough vital energy to sustain itself, or it lacks energy using the energy it does have inefficiently, right? Some psychic vampires believe that they require outside energy because they effectively have a higher spiritual metabolism. They produce vital energy without a problem, but for some reason they very quickly use up a great deal of it. Often, the vital energy is being burned up at a faster rate to fuel the psychic abilities. Although this is not always the case because their systems use up their energy faster, right? Than it could be produced. The difference must be made by taking energy from others, family. Some psychic vampires believe that they have an imperfect connection to the universe sources of energy that fuel ordinary people. You think they don't know who we are? They've been knowing since since they've been had our knowledge, right? Let's go and knock it out, family. But let's read that one more time. That little sentence there one more time. Some psychic vampires believe that they have an imperfect connection to the universal sources of energy that fuel ordinary people, right? This can take one of two forms. Either the vampire's connection to the sources is completely cut off, right? They ain't got no third eye. Alright? Or they process this energy in a limited or inefficient way. Usually these problems arise as a result of permanent damage or alterations to the portions of the subtle body, right? Because you just like you got 7 chakras, you have 7 bodies, 7 layers of your aura, right? That are connected to these sources of energy, and to those that process outside energies for use as vital energy. Weakness or blockages in the chakras can have the same effect. Some vampires believe that they are disconnected from certain sources of energy because these sources of energy are foreign to them. Let's continue. Vampires from this school of thought believe that their spiritual point of origin is somewhere else. And for some reason, they have felt difficultly interrogated here. Many of these individuals are not cut off from all forms of energy, but are limited to a specific narrow range. Some even purport to have an allergy to certain energies. Have an allergy to certain energies, family. Although they are sustaining to others can actually cause them harm, right? Right. What they say, the Bible say, world gonna end in fire. Everybody ain't gonna make it though. And everybody ain't gonna leave. Everybody still gonna, most of us gonna still be here. That's why we say, tap in, get in the sun, drink your water, detox from all the stuff that you know ain't right for you. You feel it in your soul. Finally, still other psychic vampires see their condition as the results of a mutation, family, or some other genetic inheritance. A small or somewhat radical portion of the community maintains it is the result of, it is a result of a virus. So you want to know who the real virus is? Let's continue, family. Let's continue, man. You want to know why they got you? Man, okay. Man, let's go and knock it out, family. This, man, like I said, this is just chapter 1. Alright? This is just chapter 1. I ain't want to just really deep off into, the other chapters, right? So where we left off at, the virus, right? Damn, I just lost it that fast. Finally, still other vampires see the condition as a result of a mutation or some other generic inheritance. A small or somewhat radical portion of the community maintains it is a result of a virus. Most discount this theory as nearly everyone they got it switched up. Everyone in the know agrees that psychic vampires is something you either have or you don't. You cannot be made into a psychic vampire, nor can you catch a psychic vampire from being fed upon. It may seem as if some people become psychic vampires, but these individuals are actually awakening to a condition that has been latent within them all along. All along. Alright? Vampires and energy. We gonna go on knock it out. Yeah. Okay, vampires and energy. All beings, vampiric or otherwise, engage in a constant exchange of energy with their environment. For the most part, this exchange is unconscious, and it is instinctive. It is as instinctive as breathing. Energy exchange is part of the natural flow of the universe, right? So it's nothing wrong with energy exchange. You want to make sure you exchanging your energy with somebody that's an anti-vampire, okay? It serves to connect all living things, right? Any being that is cut off completely from all energetic sources will suffer physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Certain magical or metaphysical techniques can help people become aware of their realization to energy, right? That's why we say get your tuning forks tuned up, so you can when you walk in a room, you can know, you can feel them, right? And some of these ultimately allow them to consciously participate in energy exchange. Taking an active role in energy exchange is beneficial for both physical and mental for any being, right? Like we said, nothing wrong with it. Alright? Magical workers, martial arts, and others who channel their energy in extraordinary acts can learn to consciously draw energy from their environment in order to support their activities, right? So what makes a vampire unique? Among psychic vampires, it is agreed that their nature is defined by need, right? Their nature is defined by need. While all beings exchange energy with their environment, there's a certain equilibrium, okay, that is nevertheless maintained. The draw of an ordinary person is constant and low level, barely noticeable to him or herself or anyone else. Furthermore, ordinary people give as well as take energy, right? And there is a huge disparity between the amount given off and the amount taken in. Psychic vampires require enough energy that they must take significant amounts of it in, right? The drain this generates is very noticeable, and there is a distant disparity between energy intake and outflow. The powerful draw possessed by most psychic vampires have inspired some magical workers to describe them as energetic black holes, family. Even those vampires who are unconscious of their role in energy exchange, nevertheless, actively reach out and take additional energy from those around them. This is not a once in a while thing, but occurs quite regularly. Awakened vampires report that they feed on a weekly basis, constantly taking a significant amount of energy from outside source. Some feed bi-weekly, while others have a significant need that they must actively feed every day, although frequently varies from individual to individual. Any psychic vampire who is prevented from taking in more energy than he expands while rapidly suffer a loss of physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being, right? That's why they gotta take that damn shit. They gotta take the melatonin, because they basically the walking dead. Without that, man, they look rough. Not everyone who takes in more energy than they give out is a true vampire. However, many people can wear themselves out through illness or overwork and consequently exhibit vampire tendencies. This increases in energetic need is only temporary, however. Once the individual system has regained its state of equilibrium, energy intake and outflow will become balanced once more. Man, a true vampire requires a regular and significant intake of energy regardless of the stress on his or her system. The need is constant, not temporary, and a simple rest or healing will not suffice to cure the vampirism. There's a school of thought that maintains the psychic vampire can draw up any form of energy, including natural, elemental, and celestial sources, in order to fulfill their need. In my opinion, this is not entirely true, right? This would, that's his opinion. The word vampire has been adopted by a community of people for a reason, and this is because there's a certain amount of resonance between what they experience and what they understand a vampire to be. In the myths and the folklore, vampires feed upon life as a symbolized through the portion image of blood, right? Because you do got people that do, you know what I'm saying? So let's continue. Modern day vampires define themselves as such because they too have a need to take the vital life force of others. While some psychic vampires can supplement their feeding by drawing upon non-human sources, it has been my experience that the main focus of their need is human vital energy. Right? This is one of the main reasons that the self-defense literature abounds. If psychic vampires were taking energy from non-human sources, such as the earth, the animals, or trees, how many people would even care or even notice, right? But psychic vampires naturally target other human beings because that is the energy they resonate with, and that is the energy that most sustains them. Thus, a psychic vampire is defined as any person who must actively and regularly take in human vital energy in order to maintain their physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. A psychic vampire may use several methods to give, let's start that over. A psychic vampire may use several methods to gain this vital energy. There are many emotional vampires who use attention-getting behaviors to get others emotionally fixed on them, thus draining them, man, the emotion-laden energy. Okay? There are sexual vampires who feed upon the energy generated by their partners during intimate play. Okay? Energy vampires, sometimes known as a pranic vampire, feeds directly upon human vital energy, often pulling it to them from across a room or draining it with a casual touch. Sagan vampires often take small amount of blood from a partner, using it as a portion focus for gaining the life force they need. Sagan practices are not expectationally common among psychic vampires. Health risks are a factor, but most side vampires find that purely energetic techniques are simply more efficient. This is an active portion of the vampire community that maintains that blood is the only substance that will be adequately fed, that will adequately feed their hunger. A few have declared that this is the only method of feeding engaged in by any real vampire. The Psy or the Song debate has occasionally became quite heated, and it has contributed to a rift between the psychic and the Shagan practices in the community. In my experience, true psychic vampires can use any of the methods described above to a greater or lesser degree of efficiency. It is not uncommon to use a combination of techniques, especially as a heightened emotional states tend to produce large amounts of very intensive energy. Now you see, all right? Some unawakened side vamps seem to have an instinct for one method, but may later learn other techniques upon awakening. Other psychic vampires believe they have only one method upon them, and often this very belief prevents them from harnessing any further techniques on the whole. However, each psychic vampire's ideal method of feeding seems to be derived from a combination of factors, including personal preference and energetic affinity. Right? One more chapter, family, and the book is in the title, so but it's the Psychic Vampire Codex. Okay, and we gonna knock out this last one, Awakening, right? Because everybody awakening. Awakening is what usually distinguish distinguishes international psychic vampires from those who vampires energy unintentionally. Awakening is simply a process of self-realization where the awakened individual becomes aware of their latent talents and the abilities learns in these and begins to consciously harness them. An awakened psychic vampire has realized what they are and has come to accept that nature. Awakened vampires typically learn to harness their abilities so that they may choose when and how they feed. Unawakened psychic vampires remain ignorant of what they are. However, as a psychic vampire is an inborn trait tied to a fundamental need. Alright? This does not mean that unawakened vampires do not feed. Those who are ignorant of what they still take energy unconsciously, right? And since they are not aware of this capacity, they have no control when or from who they feed. Unawakened psychic vampires are typically the kinds of people that the book self-defense literature is written about. The unawakened are drawn to people who can provide them with the most energy, okay? And often they unconsciously create these situations that will provide them even with, more energy, as they are operating unconsciously on basic instinctive drives. Their feeding can be aggressive and efficient with consideration only for their own needs. Although unawakened vampires can be a nuisance, especially for those who have been victimized by them, it is important to understand that their actions are not necessarily evil. Why? Because they're not doing it intentionally, but it's still a fucking problem, right? Without conscious control of their abilities, there is no way for them to make an ethical choice concerning their needs. Awakening so that conscious control can be achieved in idle for both psychic vampires and everyone else around them. Awakening, however, is not an easy thing, right? Because you still got people that sleep today, right? But you supposed to be, God, but they haven't realized their true nature yet. So they gonna stay asleep. While it is often difficult for outsiders to accept the existence of psychic vampires, it is even more difficult for vampires themselves to come to terms with their nature and accept all that this means. So, that's the first chapter, family. Like I said, it gets way deeper than that. But y'all know this Facebook and this YouTube, can't let the left hand know what the right hand doing all the time, right? But yeah, you want to go get that book. Like I said, that's a great book. Uncle Bobby recommended in one of the lectures I was looking at not too long ago. Had to go and snatch it up and share it with the family. Y'all already know how we do it. We leaving no stone unturned over here, and that's just what it is. So, yeah, appreciate everybody in the comments. Again, the book is called The Psychic Vampire Codex. Okay, and then there's also another one, Psychic Self-Defense. So you know what I'm saying, you can be able to detect these type of beings when you know they around you, right? And as we said earlier, most of these people don't know they doing this stuff, but it's happening every day, right? Every day. So with all that being said, family, I appreciate everybody that came in. You know what I'm saying? Y'all already know how we do it. We the truth. You know what I'm saying? We ain't none of these super woke niggas that can, you know. And I was, you know, the spirit been showing me all of it. And I said, wow. Most of the people that they listen to, they never go live. They always on their phone doing these videos. And so, video be chopped up and all that type of stuff because they just freestyling. They ain't really tapped in, right? As I say, we only read the books to get an understanding, then we become the book, right? That's what it's about. Because you gotta read up to free your mind. If you don't, you're gonna stay in the Western mindset, the Western world mindset. They still reading the Bible and haven't figured it out, right? Most of these super woke need to go on back to church theyself too, because that's all they doing. They just, you know, don't nobody believe in Illuminati, man. These people want to cipher your energy. That's what this whole thing about, family. It ain't about the mass. It ain't about the jab. It's about your energy. They want to be connected to your vital energy 24/7, right? Because they getting tired of going out there snatching the kids up and doing whatever they doing to these kids, right? They tired of doing that. They want to be connected to your soul 24/7, okay? That's what this thing about. Fear is the virus, right? Got people talking about, oh, I tested positive. Of course you're going to test positive. If you go in to take the test, you are already second guessing your own soul. Your soul is the Lord. Your soul is the Christ. But as we said, family, everybody ain't going to make it. You know, it's sad. It's sad to see. You know, like I said, it ain't everybody. But it's a majority of these people. They just, you know, they just don't know what they done got themselves into. So as the earth continue to go through its dark night of the soul, just make sure you facing your demons. Make sure you facing and you forgiving all the people that ever hurt you. You gotta forgive these people. They don't know no better, right? When certain people look at me, they don't know who they looking at. And so, like I said, it ain't about me. It's about this knowledge, about this wisdom. It's about truly awakening to your true nature. We don't even know who we truly are as a whole, right? As a whole, we don't know who we truly are as a whole. And so, a lot of people that sleep they gonna choose which path they gonna go down. But the time for waking people up is over. They already made their decision, right? They already set their alarm. Some people keep hitting the snooze button when they know it's time to wake up. When they know these folks ain't for us, right? They know it. But they, like my brother Kenny said, he compared this consciousness shit to the wrestling WWE. Motherfuckers that wake up knowing this stuff is an illusion and they still want to play in the matrix. Now I understand we all gotta do something to keep us grounded down here, Cause this knowledge will take you to fucking goddamn outer space for real. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta stay grounded, of course. But we not getting radical about this shit, right? Leave it alone. Stop watching the news. They zapping your ass through the TV. They zapping you through the music. They zapping you through all of these, you know what I'm saying, OnlyFans, everything, right? You gotta see the beauty in everything. But at the same time, you gotta know, right? It's time for us to free our souls, free our mind. They can lock down the whole world, baby, but they can't lock down your mind. If you gonna turn up, you better read up, right? That's the only way up out this thing. Remember what I read the last time I went live. Ignorance and laziness is the worst of them all. So no judgment to nobody, right? But ignorance and laziness is the worst of them all. So, with all that being said, family, y'all already know it's nothing but love, it's nothing but light, you know what I'm saying? But we still gotta face the darkness as well, right? Like I said, you can't kill what they told you the devil is. The devil is your double. The demons are all the things you gotta face, right? You gotta face it, right? They scared of Baphomet when Baphomet ain't nothing but a symbol of you, right? You have light, you have dark, you have male, you have female, right? It's all mythology, all of these stories, but they never tell you the truth, right? Like it said, vampires ain't nothing other dead. These people, these are humans that's doing this thing. Okay? So, I appreciate everybody timing in, family. That's going to be it. Pretty soon, y'all know I'll come back on, but y'all know how I do it when I'm sharing this knowledge and I'm sharing this information. You already know the attack's going to come, but I'm protected, you know what I'm saying? So, just wanted to share that with y'all. Y'all can go get the book yourself. And if you don't want to wait, hit the Cash App and I'll send it to you. Alright? But other than that, family, you gotta let go of the madness. You gotta stay focused on what you want. What you focus on grows. That's what they don't want you to know. That's why they got that shit in every commercial now. Every time you fucking turn the TV on, it's about the scam demon. That's it. Cause they know. They ciphering off your energy. Just through the TV. Just through the TV. So, peace, love, light, and respect, family. Y'all already know how we do it. Beetlejuice, 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 baby. I'm out. Love y'all.
Black man, black man, living in his life as a black man. They don't wanna see you win as a black man. Living in this world of sin as a black man. Black man, gotta go a little harder as a black man. Gotta be a lot smarter as a black man. Know your worth, you're a king of your black man. Black man, living in his life as a black man. They don't wanna see you win as a black man. Living in this world of sin as a black man. Black man, gotta go a little harder as a black man. Gotta be a lot smarter as a black man. Know your worth, you're a king of your black